Welcome back to the Too Fast Tactical channel. Today we have another tabletop unboxing of a tactical flashlight made by Bravo8, available from their website at bravo8.com. This is the TAC-18X, and it lists on Bravo8's website for $396. So let me preface this a little bit. I didn't actually buy this flashlight. This was part of my monthly tactical mystery box drop from clubtac.com. I'll put a link to that in my description. If you didn't watch my video on the unboxing, you should go and check that out. It's a monthly subscription service where you get a mystery box with a bunch of cool tactical stuff in it, and this flashlight was in this month's drop. So I was excited to take a look at it. I briefly touched on this in the other video, but today we're going to unbox it, and I'm going to take it apart, and I'm going to talk about it, and let you know what I found out so far. I've used it a little bit and played around with it, and I'll just kind of give you my thoughts. Okay, so this big mamma jamma here is over 11 inches long, weighs 2 pounds. It's a big chunk of aluminum and has a claimed output rating of 18,000 lumens. It takes 4 266650 3.7 volt 5000 milliamp rechargeable lithium ion batteries, which are included, and it has 15 Cree LEDs. Now, on Bravo8's website, they claim that this flashlight has 15 XML-T6 LEDs. There's a little piece of literature inside the box that says this flashlight has XML2 Cree emitters. So I don't know which one is correct, but there's obviously a conflict somewhere. And I'll talk about that a little bit later when we start talking about rated light outputs and these different types of LEDs. Let's see. 18,000 lumens. Aircraft grade aluminum. This flashlight has 5 modes: a high, a mid, a low, and a strobe, and an SOS. And I'll read this statement. This statement is directly off their website. The statement says, and its incredibly impressive waterproof rating of IPX4, which means you should go ahead and take this beauty for a swim. I'm not kidding you, it actually says that. I guess they don't know the difference between the different IPX ratings for water resistance. IPX4 is not a rating you can take something swimming. That would be IPX7 maybe to 3 meters, or IPX8 for more than 3 meters. Definitely not IPX4. IPX4 specifically protects against splashing water. So, all right, let's move on here. This TAC-18X ships in this particular box here. We've got some specs here on the side, which more or less corresponds to some of the information I just told you about. So this is a nice box, nice packing. And we'll open this up. Now, one thing right off the bat I'll mention is, you know, you can see here, you've got some really nice foam padding here to protect the flashlight and so on, but they don't have anything on the top, just a cardboard. So while the flashlight is kind of recessed down in there, so chances are nothing's going to damage it, I'm kind of used to seeing some sort of a top protective layer for the foam on this type of packaging, especially at this price point that this flashlight is listed at. But, you know, that's a little nitpicky thing. But this is a nice box, and this foam's cut out specifically for all these accessories. When we get down to it, I'll just kind of set it like that, although I don't think the top will stay open. I'll just have to hold this. Included inside this box, we've got the limited lifetime warranty from Bravo8. The limited lifetime warranty applies to this flashlight and their Black Label series, which they don't say a whole lot on their website about the Black Label series. They just say that the Black Label series has a limited lifetime warranty, and this is part of the Black Label series. So that's pretty cool. Limited lifetime warranty on the flashlight. This is their user manual, if you can call it that, and we'll talk about that in a moment. They also include a gratuitous amount of their Bravo8 logos. They've got two small ones. One has 3M adhesive tape on the back, and the other one has got Velcro on it. So you've got two small ones and two big ones. So that's cool for freebies. Inside the box, we have the three 2650 batteries, we have the battery charger, we have the cable, and we have the flashlight. So let me go ahead and I'll take all this stuff out, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, now that with all the contents out of the box, let's talk about what's in here. So the this flashlight ships with a battery charger that is only capable of charging 2 batteries at a time, and it comes with 4 2650 3.7 volt 5000 milliamp rechargeable lithium ion batteries. And everything in here is Bravo8 branded, and what we're looking at with the charger here is the included cable here is a wall charger. You have a wall charger option here. There's also a plug on the side for some other type of charger. I'm assuming maybe a car charger, although there is nothing on their website about that, and there's no instruction manuals for this charger. It is kind of self-explanatory. You've got, you know, spring-loaded connections, plus, minus, to kind of give you an idea how to place these in. Here's and this does work as it's supposed to. You've got an LED charging light to let you know it's charging, and it changes colors once it's charged. But you can only do 2 batteries at a time, and the flashlight uses 4, or at a minimum 3. We'll talk about that later as well. But it takes like 6 hours to charge these batteries. So you're looking at 12 hours basically before you can get this flashlight up and running again. So there's that. There's also a 4.2 volt and 3 volt switch on the side, which, if I were to make an assumption, this would be a toggle to tell this charger if the voltage of the batteries are less than 3 volts, or the 4.2 volt would mean more than 3 volts but less than 4.2 volts. I don't know, because there's no manual for the charger and there's no information about it available on the site. So I'm going to assume that this is a product that is manufactured and is sold to multiple companies. I do believe that's the case, and I'm going to have to research this charger and see if I can find out some more information about that. So moving on, we're getting to the flashlight here. This is the TAC-18 user manual. Okay, our military grade tactical flashlight. Our first page here, we talk about the specs on it. And like I mentioned earlier, this particular user manual says that this flashlight uses 15 Cree XML2 LED lights, which is different from what their website says. I talk about the batteries. The modes are high, low, middle, SOS, and strobe. And there's some other specs here, and I'll talk about that in a sec. And we show a diagram of the flashlight, and we've got a little discount code here for a next purchase, and it says Black Label series, serial number, and yada yada yada. And that's it. That's the user manual. Doesn't tell you how to put the flash batteries in, doesn't tell you how to activate the different modes, no information at all. It doesn't tell you that you can disassemble this and run this in a smaller form factor. It doesn't tell you that you can use 18650 batteries with this, which I know you can if you have the sleeve adapters. Nothing. So I had to basically play around with this thing to try and figure everything out. And I thought, well, you know, somebody else probably did a video of this and I can go on YouTube. No. Bravo8's got no product reviews that I could find on YouTube. As a matter of fact, I went to all their social channels and there's virtually nothing on their Twitter or their Facebook or their Instagram. There's a couple of pictures, but nothing of any consequence. So are they a new company and just getting going? Could be. I don't know. So back to the user manual here. The running hours for this are listed in high mode of 1 hour, mid 3 hours, low mode 13 hours, SOS 2.5 hours, and strobe 1.5 hours. The size dimensions are listed in millimeters and not inches, which, you know, obviously I'm in the US, so I'm not used to millimeters. And most user manuals would have both, and this one doesn't. So what that translates into is 3.52 inches in diameter for the head and 16.3 inches long. The weight is 1,006 grams. That's 2.21 pounds. The operating voltage is 16.8 volts. Working current is 0.85. That's for each LED. The working distance is 1,400 meters. Waterproof rating is IPX4. So IPX4 is everywhere on this. It's on the box. It's in the literature. It's on the website. And then, of course, we've got that very conflicting statement about taking the flashlight swimming, which is not something you'd want to do with an IPX4 rated light. Okay, so user manual, if you can call it that. Lifetime warranty, good thing here. There's no lanyard included with this, although you can see down here with this tail cap design, there is a facility to attach a lanyard. You can see right there, there is a facility. You can also see inside of this cap, instead of a spring down here, we have a solid brass or copper pin, which is spring loaded. This is definitely a good solid design right here. You're seeing a lot of high-end flashlights use this. This appears to be a hard coat anodized finish. The threads on this, obviously this is machined out of aluminum. It looks like a 6000 series aluminum, feels like a 6000 series aluminum, but wow, I honestly can't tell you that I could tell a difference between 6000 and 7000 series, but my guess is this is 6000 series aluminum. 7000 is expensive and difficult to machine. Even though the price point listed on this flashlight is roughly $500, I don't believe this is 7000 series aluminum. All of the threads and the sections have O-ring protection. You can see down here with this cap where my finger is. Well, maybe you can see it or not. It is a double O-ring protected end cap here. There are no extra O-rings included in the kit, so keep that in mind. Now this particular flashlight comes apart. No mention of this in the user manual or on their website. So I came across this just by accident. Actually, I was doing some internet searches. See, this whole thing comes apart. And even this bottom heatsink comes off. I don't know why you would want to remove this, because I don't think you can do anything with it removed. So we've got a nice heavy duty brass spring down here. Now the box does say that this flashlight is adjustable, and on the box it points to the bezel right here. This is not adjustable, at least by me. It doesn't move, and I don't see how it could be adjustable unless it was to extend out to change the beam diameter. So I don't know why the box says that it's adjustable and points to this. It's definitely not. You can see all the LEDs that are in there. Unfortunately, I am not an LED expert, so there's no way for me to tell you if these are T6s or LXML2s. I don't know. And I did try taking this assembly apart. I can't figure out how this comes apart. So I don't want to destroy it trying to take it apart. It could be that this needs a special tool to disassemble or something. I don't know. But anyway, you can see pretty much the whole thing has got a nice anodized finish to it. The threads are nicely done from what I can tell. You don't have the anodizing over the threaded areas. Obviously, that's, you know, you can see some anodizing in there, but the threading is not anodized. So right up to the threading, you get the black anodized finish. And that's definitely can be a problem on if you have an item that's in the white or raw aluminum, and you anodize the whole thing, including the threads. If you have tight tolerances, things don't go together after you add that small amount of anodizing to two threaded surfaces. So this is good that we don't have any type of threading or any anodizing on the threads. Now, my guess with this being modular is so that you can custom tailor this light for a specific task or a specific job. So if you don't need a full output of 18,000 lumens, you could shorten this down. But the problem I found is, at least with these 2650 batteries, you can't get two of them in for this section. So I don't know if that would be doable with 18650 batteries. I did not test that because I don't have the rings for the adapters for the 1856. But if we were to attach this secondary piece here, we could do 1, 2, 3 batteries. And if I put the cap on, you can see the light lights up. So it will run off of 3 batteries, so you can shorten the length a little bit here, just running 3 of the batteries. And it really doesn't shorten it that much. I mean, you can see the section right there that we're taking out. It's just a little bit larger than one of these 26650 batteries. All right, so and all these sections, I didn't show that. All these noisy little thing. All these different sections are double O-ring protected. You can see there's possibly you can see that there's double O-rings. Focus. Double O-rings on all these different sections. You would think double O-rings would provide a higher waterproof rating than IPX4. A lot of IPX rated flashlights only have single O-rings. This one has double. So I don't know where the leakage would occur on this, maybe on the head or something. I'm not an expert in that area, so. All right, well, everything goes together and fits together. You've got a nice smooth finish. There's no rough parts on this. The look and feel on the outside is good. There's not an extensive amount of knurling or anything on here. There's some grooves cut into this, and that's about it. So let's load this bad boy up with these flashlights. Load them up with the flashlights. We'll load the flashlight up with the batteries. And there is a good amount of spring tension on this cap, so you got to kind of push down on it as you screw it in. And this thing is extremely bright. This is the brightest flashlight I've got my hands on. There is no side-mounted switch up here. There's only the rear tail cap switch, which also has the Bravo8 logo on it. So this is the only way to turn the flashlight on, is by clicking the button. You can't really do momentary with this flashlight. It's either click on or click off. So to go through the different modes on this, you double click fast. Well, turn it on, double click. There's the strobe, double click. There's the SOS. And double click it again, and then you've got the that was the mid mode, and then you've got the high mode. And when you turn the light off on a specific mode, it remembers that mode, so when you turn it back on, you're back into that mode. So there's the low mode. So if we leave it in the low mode, turn it off, turn it back on, okay, I'm not doing it right. I guess I'm button challenged. Okay, so it's staying in the strobe mode, SOS, and there's the high mode. Okay, so that's how you toggle through the different modes on this particular flashlight. I'm happy I got this. You know, I'm satisfied with this light. This is a lot larger than what I would normally carry. This is a lot of weight. I'm sure there are specific purposes for this. I've never, you know, gone to a flashlight e-commerce site and looked through their lights and said, oh, I need that big bad boy because I can use it as a club. I've never said that. I normally look for lights that I can put in my my vest or my backpack or my pocket. And I look for high output lights that have a lot of flexibility, rechargeable, and so on and so on. And based on most of my reviews that you've probably watched, that pretty much tells you what I'm normally looking at for flashlights. This is a lot larger than something I would normally look for. It's a cool flashlight. It's very bright. If you need to signal those low-flying UFOs when you're out in the bush, this might be the ticket for that. So what else do we've got to say? Well, let's go back and talk about these LEDs. The website says that this light has the XML-T6 LEDs. The literature says XML2. Well, let's just assume they actually have XML2 emitters in it. The XML2s put out, what, roughly 20% more than the T6. So each LED is going to put out between 1044 and 1119 lumens. So if we were to assume on the best case scenario 1119 lumen output per LED for an XML2 emitter, the max output in lumens would be 16,785 theoretically. If this has the T6, the XML T6 LEDs, those put out between 910 and 975. Best case scenario, boy, did I write that down? I don't think I wrote it down. That's less. It's 15,000 or something like that. I was going to calculate that and write it down, but that's even less. So neither of these complements of Cree LEDs would take this light to 18,000 lumens, at least on paper, based on my research. And of course, I don't have a way to measure the lumen, the light output of this. That requires some specialized equipment that the majority of people on this planet can't afford to have. So take that for what it's worth. I think previous to this, the highest output light that I reviewed and had a chance to play around with was an Olight, I think it was the Marauder, at like 12,000 lumens. This is brighter than the Olight Marauder. I can tell you that based on just side-by-side comparisons. So, but that doesn't even guarantee that the Olight Marauder is at 12,000 lumens. You know, that's just what its claimed light output is, and this one's claimed at 18,000, and this one is brighter than that. For all I know, they could both, the one could be 3,000 lumens, and this could be 4. I don't have any idea. But it is extremely bright. So that's kind of splitting hairs, but, you know, it's the way it is. So anyway, this is the, again, the Bravo8 TAC-18X. That came in my monthly supply drop. I'm real happy with the monthly supply drop. This is a nice bonus. I'm not sure where this flashlight is going to fit in with my complement of other flashlights. It's too big for my bug out bag. It's too big as an EDC light. Maybe as a trunk, you know, something to keep in the car. That's a possibility as well. But, you know, for a car light, I normally look for something that's got a clip on it or a magnetic base, because normally I'd be using a light to look in the engine or to fix something in the engine, repair a spare tire. So I've got to have some facility for the light to, you know, function, and it'll stand on its cap But that's about it. So anyway, pretty cool flashlight. I mean, it's a nicely built flashlight. It's got a good light output. The literature is really lacking. The information is conflicting in several different areas. The social media presence of Bravo8 is a bit concerning as well, especially when I'm looking for information about a product. I mean, you look at this product on the website, it doesn't even really shows you a picture of the light, but it doesn't really tell you what it comes with either. So, especially when you look at the price of $396. Now, I'm gonna talk about that as well. If I was to make an assumption about this light before we terminate this video, I'd say that this light's made in China. Because if you do an internet search of 18,000 lumen flashlights, you're going to find a lot of flashlights that look identical to this. And they're all Chinese made, same configuration. Some may have different tail caps on them, but they're all taking, you know, 4 pieces of the 2650 rechargeable lithium ion batteries. They all disassemble the same way. They all have a complement of 15 Cree XML T6 LEDs and so on. These lights run from anywhere from 60 to 150 bucks. And 150 would be on the high side, and that would include a charger and 4 batteries. And several that I looked at came with lanyards. So now there could be something special with this particular light. You know, if it does indeed have the Cree XML2 LEDs in it, that would probably cost a bit more because those are brighter LEDs. It's more current technology. But, you know, take it for what it is. It is listed for $396 on Bravo8.com's website. And aside from the discrepancies and the things I previously mentioned,